What's up, everybody? It's your boy J-Boy here, Kingdom Elite Gaming. Listen, we're going to go through a quick recap of the Division 2 state of the game from yesterday. It's not going to be a super long video. I want to make sure that I cover some of the new changes and things that are going on, just so you all kind of have an understanding of what they discussed. And I'll post a link to the state of the game. I'll also post a link to my prior video discussing some of the other things that were going on. So let's get right into the video. Now, they first started talking about the deltas and basically the server maintenance that they had yesterday. Basically just some back end changes, and and part of that is the deltas, trying to eliminate or reduce those. Now, I can tell you I've seen a lot of deltas in raids. I've also seen a lot of deltas in the DZ, the new ones in the DZ that I had never seen. I've been playing the game for a long period of time. Just recently I started seeing disconnect in 30 seconds, and that sucks, right? When you get some good gear and you really want to get it out, and all of a sudden you have a disconnect. So it's just a very, let's be real. Everybody has disconnects. Nothing is 100% perfect. It's man-made. You would hope they have those things fixed, and you would hope that the server is really, really, really good. It sucks that it happens to us, but it is good to see that they're working on it. Positive spin, positive energy. All right. Next thing they started talking about was the Division TOS, or their code of conduct, as they say. And they talked about, they heard a lot of complaints about the Ubisoft one, and I'll post a link to that video as well that I talked about it the day before of what was going on with the Ubisoft new terms of service, and how, based on the links yesterday morning, there were two different ones. Now, what you notice in this is that there's a conflict of interest or a conflict between developers and Ubisoft, because Ubisoft is banning things that Division has developed into their game. So that creates an issue, such as, the leveling up and character leveling, those things that were pointed out. Well, the Division itself says that they have no problem with that because it's built into the game, part of the shepherding system. And matter of fact, they encourage it. So they said there definitely needs to be a conversation between the developers and Ubisoft as, what is the expectation so that everybody is clear. They went on to talk about like the content creators. They really couldn't provide a lot of information at this point, but they did mention that, content for Division is a little bit different than content for other games, just because there is no, some games have licensed music arrangements, like Just Dance is the game they use. And I get it, it's copyright infringement and things, but they said it seems to be a little bit different for the Division, but they didn't want to provide any details or anything about that right now. Next thing they moved into was they acknowledged that the PTS for TU10 will be dropping on Friday, May the 22nd at 2 p.m., I believe. Now, on top of that, it still sucks because the PTS is only on PC. So us console gamers, we really can't give any feedback. We're just kind of left with whatever it is they give us that the PC players have said, which I really don't care for that part too much. I think that you should invest the time, the money, and the energy into doing it if you want to have a game that's cross platform like that. I don't necessarily mean cross platform, but on multiple platforms like that. So I think that kind of sucks, but it's really nothing we can do about it right now. And I know it's partly on Sony and Microsoft. So, we need to figure that out because it sucks to have a game change and, part of the player base is given a chance to get feedback, but not others. And I'm not saying I want to, but I'm pretty sure that PC, PlayStation and Xbox players, Stadia players as well, would love to give feedback on how things work. Now for TU10, they also said that they want to bring back the quality and balance of the game. Those are the words they used. And they, put fun back into the game. And basically what this sounds to me is like, be ready to adjust your bills again. Because, there were a lot of patch notes, and one of the guys on there, I believe his name was Nicky, said that, there was a lot of patch notes and he was just going to kind of go over some of the highlights and changes and stuff. Now, I look at this as a different form, because they said they want to create the desire and the fun experience back, put the fun experience back into the game, but fun doesn't necessarily, mean easier. They just want to remove the unfair. So, when you roll out of the grenade and you're trying to figure out how the grenade still hit you and you're nowhere near it and it took all your health off, those type of things that just don't make sense, right? Now, this also comes to play later on as we get into a couple other things. They talked about exotics. I'll post a chart now of where they said exotics come from. And basically they were just saying that after Title Update 10, the New York exotics will drop to the regular loot pool. the ones that are not locked behind special content, put it like that. So your Lady Deaths and your Bullet Kings and all those will go into the general loot pool that could come from raid, bosses, etc. The exception would be like the Bighorn, the Eagle Bearer, and the 2 new exotics that they have coming out at this particular point. Not those are going to go to probably be locked behind certain content. So that's going to be very interesting to see. They moved on to a couple other things. They talked about new gear sets coming. They talked about the special clan vendor, having stuff that's different. New brand sets, new name stuff coming in season 2. They said that all weapons got to get a pass, basically updated. What that means is, on top of that, is they have, so when weapons are getting passed and you're thinking about the adjustments that they're making, they're saying that weapon handling has been adjusted. Well, why does this make sense? This makes sense because with weapon handling, if you got an LMG and an M1A, the M1A was king right now because it's a single shot. So you're not firing a rapid amount of shots and you're not having to worry about those shots being lost and everything. So you don't have to worry about that as much. But if you're firing an LMG and an LMG is you're unloading in that clip, there's a recoil with that. So weapon handling is going to be pretty interesting to see how they do that with ARs, SMGs, LMGs, or whatnot. They said that all weapons got a buff. M1A got a slight nerf, and all other weapons have been buffed to kind of meet that new power level. So we're going to be interested to see how that works, and all of that goes to helping the player, the actual player power. So that's going to be very interesting when you see the player power, because they looked at time to kill and things like that. I guess, in a way it makes the player stronger, but these weapons are going to be very interesting. The patch notes may come out Friday, or they may come out after that. They don't necessarily have a date on those things just yet, but it's just depending on when those things will actually drop. They talked about, like I said, with the vendors, when you get to level 40, no longer sell purples, excuse me. The item power is going to be higher. Cassie's going to have a higher role. It's going to be named weapons at all the vendors, right? The last thing they talked about, which was very, very interesting, and I think this is an exciting thing, you're going to have legendary projects. So with those legendary projects, what's going to happen is you're going to have a mission. After you complete that legendary, you'll get a legendary mission project, and that project will give you an exotic at the end, and that exotic, will only come after you beat that legendary mission that one time. So that's a great thing, great thing, great thing. Over and all, it was a pretty good state of the review. Things that were discussed were very interesting, and I like the changes that are coming. Comment, like and subscribe to the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your comments are. As always, Kingdom Elite Gaming, J-Boy, I'm out.